Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter at Night. My name is Chris.
I'm Alan.
I'm Jeremy.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Now, we
Hello.
thought we'd be super hip and review a movie that came
Totally
out
timely.
a few months ago.
6
That I
months,
still
think
haven't
it was.
seen.
Yeah, that you still haven't seen it that I just saw. The J-Man over there saw it in theaters, right?
And I did a brief little review on the show back then. I think it was actually in July.
But here's what happened.
Yeah.
I just saw it. As part of my review of the Boxy Box, I wanted to put a really nice high bitrate Blu-ray stream through there. And so I thought, I got to watch Inception. And I sat down and I watched the whole movie, and I got a ton of thoughts about it. And since we've got a huge...
I think it's that kind of movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes you think.
Yeah.
And we got a huge NASA announcement coming up tomorrow, and we're gonna dedicate tomorrow's Jupiter Night all about this. Supposedly, NASA released a press statement. They say we have an announcement to make that will fundamentally change future discoveries of extraterrestrial life, or something to that effect. It's big.
Yeah.
They say it's a big one.
Or if it's not, we'll spend all night tomorrow just railing on how stupid NASA is.
So we're
Either
gonna
way, good time.
Yeah.
we're gonna dedicate Thursday night to that, and normally Thursday night is our movie night, so we're moving it around, making Wednesday night the
With
movie
sound
night.
effects, apparently.
You like that?
I did.
All right, so I just saw Inception,
Yeah.
and for the highlights and warnings, there probably will be, as we go, some spoilers.
There will be.
So prepare for that. There's going
Probably.
to be.
I was
from
told
me.
definite spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you know, we'll only do it when
Here's the
absolutely
thing, though.
necessary.
You know what? This is the internet. So this episode will be here forever.
True.
The movie's been out for 6 months. It's
True.
been on DVD for like a month now. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, go get it, go watch it, and come back.
Absolutely
we'll still be
recommend
here.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I just kind of tipped my hat there a little bit, but yeah, I definitely recommend the movie. And just because you haven't seen it, I'll give you just a quick setup. It's Leonardo DiCaprio, who
Hot.
You've heard of him.
who somehow to the point that I actually found it distracting, looks like Christopher Nolan, who is also the director. So you can't help but kind of feel like there's some sort of weird thing going on.
I think I'm
there.
going to get into that a little bit later on.
Okay.
When we finish up with your review.
I will wait.
Yeah.
All right, so he is an agent that is for hire that goes into people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I think people appreciate about this movie is it doesn't really dick around with treating you like a moron. They don't go into a lot of extra baggage crap. They just
They don't try to explain a whole lot to
he
you.
works for some company.
Right.
They don't
Doesn't
really.
Does he kill people in their dreams?
In their dreams, no. I don't think
Well-
he kills actual people.
He kills their projection.
Yeah, there are other...
Oh, so like their fears or whatever?
They're just NPCs, really.
Exactly. They're
Oh.
subconscious NPCs.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
Okay.
And so when he's in there, he's usually extracting information. Generally. The movie kind of goes in a different direction, and they want
Almost like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, like taking the memories out.
not removing them, but discovering information like a trade business secret or
Okay,
something like
okay.
that. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because it goes down the path of, well, what if you could plant an idea? But they think about it intelligently, like, how do you actually make an idea work? How do you make it stick? You've got to actually make the person think it's their idea.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of have this whole, the mind has an antibody thing, where when it's somebody else's idea, your mind kind of recognizes that. But if it's your own idea,
Even if you think it's a good
okay.
idea, it'll never really be your idea.
Right.
Yeah.
so they kind of go down that path. And I found the entire thing really interesting. And just to touch on how I felt like they didn't treat people like a moron. For example, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is trying to break into a building, and he pulls out. He's climbed down the rope, and he's at the glass, and he's up against it, and he pulls out a glass cutter looking thing. He puts it on the window, and he goes to make his hand motions like he's going to start cutting it. And as they do a crossfade transition, they just make the glass cutting noise. And then the next they crossfade him just walking down the hallway. Like, you know what he's doing here. You've
Right.
seen this a few times.
I like it when they don't hold your hand through everything. It's like,
Exactly.
come on, I don't need to see that.
You
So-
don't need
Get
to
to
see
the-
him reach through the glass and unlock the window and
like
climb
we get
through.
it. We've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
So, should I get it? What do you think? Should I get into like the whole repressed memory kind of
Go
stuff?
for it, because I'm just going to kind of butt in with, I think that this movie was great.
Yeah.
Just flat out. I do recommend
I
it as
enjoyed it a
well.
lot, yeah.
But I have a little bit of background with trying to understand the science behind dreaming, because
We did a whole show about it.
I had a lot of nightmares as a kid, so it always piqued my interest to try to understand where those things come from.
You
so
know-
a movie like this, I was distracted by some of the bad science.
Here's the thing: is I thought, okay, as I was watching it, I thought that might be the case. Now, this is a weird thing, but I really don't ever remember my dreams ever. And I think it might be related to my sleep apnea or something. So I really, like Angela wake up, she's like, "Oh man, I had this crazy dream," or you've come over and be like, "Man, I've had this crazy dream," and you guys go into detail on the dream, and I'm just thinking, "Wow, I can't imagine having an experience that detailed."
Yeah,
because I just never have them. So I was worried that the science of the movie might lose me, and I found that because I don't really understand much about dreaming, or actually I understand some of
well, I think that you're pretty much the audience that this movie,
it's kind of like a dumbed down science.
Yeah, and like the general myths that people think about dreaming,
like you only use 10% of your brain, myth.
Right, and how time passes faster when you're sleeping. Or like you feel like you're experiencing hours and hours worth of stuff, but then you wake up in 10 minutes.
I actually thought that was the thing they handled the best in terms of a layman's experience, because your walkaway experience from a dream is, wow, I just experienced like a whole day's events in like a few minutes. Like I only was sleeping for 5 minutes after the alarm went off. Like you had that experience, right?
Yeah.
So they use that in the movie. So when you go into dream worlds, the further down in a dream you go, the faster time moves.
Okay, can I sidetrack for just a second?
I even know that that's not real.
This is, okay, the way that they portrayed it in the movie, they kind of sidestep an important issue, which is the fact that your brain can only work so quickly.
Right.
And if your brain is always capable of functioning at 144 times the maximum, why does it ever stop doing that? Now, they kind of gloss over it by saying that we only use 10% of our brains or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's what they say. Then when you're sleeping, you use all of it.
That's completely bull.
Yeah.
I mean, a million MRI scans have shown that every waking human who's focusing or dreaming, their entire brain is being used.
But now, do they kind of say or imply in the movie that they kind of share a brain cluster of power?
You mean when they're all hooked up to that machine?
Yeah,
thing?
especially when they go down further. Like I thought there was they're all kind of powering the experience.
Honestly, maybe, but I don't remember anything like that because I just figured that the briefcase thing was just a thing. You don't have to understand it. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that works so that the movie can take place.
That's all it is.
Yeah. So I just pretty much ignored it.
Okay.
I figured that was not worth my bad science brains.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't give it much thought, but I was just reflecting back on it. I wonder if maybe that was, I don't know.
No, but at one point in the dream, they go into a dream, and then they put the people to sleep in the dream. And the theory is that if you go into that sleeping dreamer's dream, that he's dreaming squared as fast as the waking world. But that also implies that there's actually a physical reality to the brain that's creating that dream within the dream.
Right.
Because synapses can only fire so quickly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And as soon as they started,
I think that they had the good fortune of not having a lot of people think about that stuff.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's been huge all over the net. People are really...
I agree, Alan.
There are sites dedicated to discussions about this movie. I did not know that the ending was such a controversy.
Yeah.
I watched it and I thought, okay. Actually did not think about it again. And I was just scrolling through IO9 and saw an interview with Christopher Nolan about the ending. I thought, oh, people are asking about the ending? Well, I'll read about that. Then I kind of started reading more and I thought, oh, geez, there's blogs out there dedicated to it. Mm-hmm. There's discussion forums out there dedicated to what the ending means.
Yep.
It's one of those kinds of movies.
Now, so we're going to spoil it.
What did you think?
We're going to spoil it real quick here. Now, it's not the kind of spoiler that comes at like the end of Fight Club or Sixth Sense or something. If you haven't seen the movie, this won't change your experience. But, throughout the whole thing, Leonardo DiCaprio is doing this mission so that he can go back and be forgiven for a crime and see his children again.
Right.
At the end of the movie, he gets to. But he's gone through so much hell that by the time he gets there, he's actually questioning his own reality.
So he might be just dreaming.
He has this thing, a top, that they call a totem in the movie, and when he spins it inside of a dream, it never falls over. It just spins forever. But when he's awake, he spins it, and eventually it wobbles and falls over. So that's how he can tell whether he's dreaming or he's awake. Well, at the end of the movie, he spins the top and walks away and just goes and plays with his kids.
Like he doesn't care.
And the movie ends, goes to black before the top stops. So there's this whole big controversy on the internet of whether or not...
Right.
Was he actually dreaming? Was he awake? Does it matter?
Did it fall over? Did he not even care anymore?
Well, doesn't that mean that the point is it doesn't matter? He doesn't care because he still gets what he wants, and in his head it's a reality, so that's real enough?
Yep. That's what Christopher Nolan thinks. That's pretty much what the director said.
Boom!
You got it, dude. Good job, man. Yes,
I knew you had a brain rattling around in there somewhere.
you gotta watch the
I
movie.
get movies.
You'd like
I
it.
get movies.
You'd like it. No, absolutely. Now, I gotta walk away from this giving it 2 thumbs up, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. Again, I thought it would lose me because it was about dreams. And I'm just like, I don't get it. They also...
You haven't seen it yet. You can't rate it.
No, I know. I was asking
2
you.
thumbs up.
Oh, you giving it? I thought you
Yeah.
said I can't give it.
No,
2
I
thumbs
do.
up. Okay.
I do give it 2
Yeah,
thumbs
so do
up.
I, even though I was distracted by some of the bad science.
And I think all of the actors in the movie did a great job.
I've heard nothing but good things about this movie. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about it.
I honestly think that this is one of the best films of 2010.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like
Have
in
there
the
really
top
been
5.
a lot of other movies that have been cool?
Iron Man 2 was fun. It
Didn't
was
see
good.
it, but whatever.
Tron's
Sequel.
coming out. I have high hopes for that.
Yeah,
Harry
totally.
Potter, I'm getting good vibes about.
But see, I think Tron is going to be one of those movies that it's just the appeal of, the fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, I think.
But
they're
they're
also
doing that with a
trying-
lot of different movies and a lot.
With Tron, I think they're also trying to update it to a new generation and bring in new fans, just like kind of like Star Trek.
Right, exactly.
I think we should do a future episode soon, before 2011 of Jupiter at Night, with our 2011 movie predictions.
Yeah.
Which movies are going to be the big movies of
Yeah,
2011?
I agree.
Just totally do that, and then we'll go on record, and then at the end of 2011, we'll review it. We'll play it back and see.
Yeah.
See, I think also we're all going to have to go out and see Tron just
Oh,
because
yeah.
of our fan base really is
Brian
all
and I-
talking about it, and then I can be like, I was right, it sucked.
After last week, we turned off the mics, and Brian's like, "So we're all got to go see Tron, right? We're gonna go see it. So yeah, we're gonna figure it out. So
Okay.
we gotta go.
Well, I'll go.
Definitely got to do that.
You guys should
While we're
invite
talking
me.
about other movies, when I was doing the research for this, I came across another movie that I think is going to be another kind of mind twister,
All right.
kind of like Inception. Now, I showed Chris the trailer beforehand. He didn't seem all that interested. It's called Black Swan.
Roll the
It's by that.
It's really hard to get Chris's like full
Aronofsky guy?
excited attention.
yeah, it is hard. You're right. It is
It
hard to
is.
kind of get my attention sometimes. But
Oh, Natalie Portman, weird makeup.
Yeah, and
Mila
honestly-
I've
Kunis.
seen that before somewhere. I swear
Star
to God.
Wars. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I thought too. And it just was like, I just don't want it, and that was an immediate turnoff. And then it starts as a
Ballerina don't
dance.
care.
It's about dancing.
Exactly right.
Now, it starts off about dancing. Now, Aronofsky is the same guy that did The Wrestler. So that's kind of his focus on this, was the
Okay.
obsession of a certain sub-profession of some sort. It was The Wrestler before, now it's a dancer. But as you go further into this trailer, it starts to get really psychological. She basically starts going crazy, and you go with her on this journey into total craziness.
Actually, it
Oh, it's the guy that did Pie.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah.
actually it's you.
God dang it.
You kind of have to be a little impressed what they managed to do to your brain in how long is the trailer? Like a couple of minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
And at first you think, oh my god,
And it's a dancer
dancing
drama.
movie, and then you're like, oh, a really crazy dancer movie, and you're like, a dancer crazy movie with some lesbian sex,
Mulholland Drive?
kind of getting a little sexy here, and then you're like, and
And then she goes crazy.
yeah, then
Did
you're
she,
like,
did she start? Oh, something got smashed.
Right there.
did you see that? Did you see that reflection? For the audio viewers, Natalie Portman's reflection starts
Turned
to turn
around.
and look. at her.
When Natalie was not turning.
I know it. I know it. Oh,
So,
you see
yeah.
that? That was a little lesbian action.
So the reason I
there,
bring
too.
this up is because I think there's
And that.
enough of a psychological side to this movie that fans of Inception may want to check this out. And it's an indie film, so you might not otherwise notice it if I don't bring it to your attention.
Oh, it's an indie film, huh?
Yeah.
Can I?
no,
But that
it's
guy's not indie though.
Who's that?
None of these actors
None of
are
these
indie.
people are. How is that indie? That's what I don't get
Check
anymore.
this out. Wait,
He's
is it
a
right
big
here?
name.
I think at this
director
point
and
it's just
writer and
off the mainstream studio.
You watching
Okay.
this?
Yeah.
Oh, she's pulling something out of her skin. Oh, her eyes are all red.
well,
She-
your eyes get like that sometimes.
Yeah.
You start itching them like crazy.
I
You start
think
pulling things
You're
out of your
always,
skin.
you're always like one
Why
eye
was,
just.
why was she
blends
pulling
like that.
spikes out of her skin?
She's crazy.
No, dude, she's turning into a monster.
She's turning into a bird. It's turning into a swan.
Yeah, she was
Turning
growing
into
wings.
to a black. What is it?
Swan.
But
Black
can I
Swan,
can I
Black
just
Swan.
say that
Swan.
when you were saying it's about the obsessions of the profession and stuff like that, a really good movie that also talks about the obsession of the profession is Best in Show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a very
that-
amusing one. Yeah.
That is a good one. I love.
So if you
that
don't
one.
want to,
If you like the lighter side
if
of
you want to be
Obsessions.
depressed, go see that movie.
And what's the
If
other
you wanna
one?
laugh,
I gotta be
go
honest. The one that's totally probably a little girly that I like. It's about the beauty pageants done by the same guy that does Best in Show.
Oh, I don't remember the name
About
of
the
that
beauty
one.
pageants.
And it's got Kristen Dunst as the actress that's the lead.
I do not.
I don't think
remember
it's the
name
same
of that.
guys, but Drop Dead Gorgeous.
No.
No.
Maybe the chat room
It's
might
not
know.
Miss
but-
Congeniality either. Those are the only
oh.
beauty pageant movies I know.
No.
Best movie
If
ever.
the chat room knows, maybe if they shout
I
it
know
out,
beauty
I'll
pageant
mention it.
movies. Yeah.
But it's No, it wasn't Little Miss
No, she
Sunshine
wasn't in
either.
that. Maybe,
Dang.
I think Chris is crazy.
But you know, those same guys that did Best in Show also did Waiting for Guffman and Spinal Tap. And,
Okay.
so that's kind of their mockumentary style. Yeah.
I do enjoy that. Best Show's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for watching tonight's episode of Jupiter at Night, and we'll be back tomorrow night with our big NASA announcement episode,
Or not so big.
whatever it might be.
I'm actually
Aliens,
geared
they
up to be
found them.
disappointed.
They're letting us know
What?
finally.
I'm geared up to be disappointed.
I know.
Yeah.
Me too.
I want it to be good, but it's not going to be.
Whenever it's something like this, the big announcement, something you're always, because your mind just imagines the craziest
Like
thing, and
Apple's
no matter what,
big
it's like,
announcement was putting the Beatles on
Ah.
it.
what about the Segway? Remember that one?
Yeah.
You're all like, oh, what is it? It's gonna reinvent. But yeah, everyone,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow night.